Good evening, everyone. Welcome to Mount Panorama, or the other way that it's supposedly titled is Super Cheap Auto. That's an interesting advert. Well, Bathurst, one of the best tracks. I really enjoyed. But yeah, we are starting in iracing as I'm getting ready for the tricky 12 hours of Bathurst special event in iracing that will be done by myself, my teammate Jesper, and my other kind of teammate Michi, as we will try to survive whatever iracing throws at us. Hi Ayus, hi Joao. And the best practice, of course, is always to just do races. And to make it even more tricky, I am on my way to get some very high esports I-rating at some point in the future, and Bathurst isn't the best place to for sure gain I-rating, you know. The walls are close and the tires are, well, not too approachable or too forgiving. So yeah, this is straight into the GT Sprint series, what is it called, Simicube Open series, whatever. Like I did at the Road Atlanta last week. Or was it 2 weeks ago? Cannot even remember. I think it was 2 weeks ago, yeah. What did I do last week? I don't know. You know you're getting old when you cannot remember what you did last week. But anyway, just had a couple of philosophical thoughts of like RF2 or LMU versus other sims. It feels kind of bad when you're really good at one sim, in this case RF2 and LMU, and then pros from other sims join in for some esports events and they're straight on pace or maybe 2/10 off. And then you go to their sim, so like to iRacing or ACC, and you're just like 1 second of pace despite a lot of effort. So, I mean, okay, 1 second at Bathurst is less bad than 1 second at some shorter track, but still. Well, Quali, here we go. Yeah, I was in the Lulhan race earlier today. He out-qualified me by 1.5 seconds, although I was basically nervously shaking on both my quali laps as yeah, was trying to get acclimatized to the first online event on Bathurst for me. Yeah, James, yeah, of course, but it's still like I think it feels from driver or like from esports driver perspective, it feels more it feels better if you're good in iRacing, because then, or like if you're good in ACC, because it's so difficult to get there. But if you're really good in LMU, then next day maybe there will be one guy who is just as fast. So, but I mean, yeah, from game perspective, that's brilliant for the Studio 397 sims. Jake, yeah, well, welcome, welcome to the party. Yeah, I'm gonna start with iRacing today and then jump straight into GT3 Fixed Championship at Monza. By the way, my volumes might be off, so let me know if I have to adjust anything, because still after the Windows update some stuff went completely crazy. Either way, enough talking. Let's try to do
green flag,
some respectable lap times here.
Okay, here comes your first timed lap.
Ironically, turn 1 is one of the trickiest turns for me. For no reason. The car just doesn't want to car. But this time it was kind of stable, so... A random understeer moment. That was nice, kind of.
You have about 2 laps of fuel left.
Apart from turn 2. Probably looking for a low 03 now. Pit entry? No idea. This corner is having basically wet grip. 3.6, okay, slower than what it felt. The tilt is broken, I think. Always shows something wrong after T1.
You have about 1 lap of fuel left.
Come on. 2.9 is my PB. Not sure if I can find 2/10 more. .1, okay. Gonna take that.
There's the flag, it's over.
We're speed 2, right? I don't see anybody 7k, 8k, so that must be split 2. Feels bad, man. No, it's better than being absolutely nowhere in split 1, I suppose. How do you see split in iRacing? LMU just says nice big 1 out of whatever, or well, number of split out of how many, but there maybe I need some overlay or whatever. Let me load some nice Imo. Serban, hello. Do you have any opinions on clutch coasting? It's not extremely realistic because, well, obviously the clutch would wear quite significantly, right? But it happens in racing sometimes with some cars. But I don't think in World Endurance Championship they are actually clutch and coasting, right? It's always like engine going, or like the whole motor plus engine system going to quite lean towards end of the straights, and then the revs slowly start dropping, and then they start braking. So I'm instantly in favor of implementing a better gearbox and clutch system in LMU, you know. Jack, I wish. I wish. I dream of a modded LMU sometimes. But, well, if it goes well, if the player numbers go up, and the money inflows go up, then maybe that's gonna happen with R Factor 3. James, copy. I have no idea. I went for it. I probably locked up all 4 tires or something. There was a car boxing ahead of me, so no idea. And then, so Pole 2.0, that's the same as Chris Lulham did in the previous race. So, I mean, well, 2.1 in split 2 as well. That's some crazy lap times. But look at the gaps, like it's pretty tight here, and then half a second. And then another 4 tenths. So big gaps. Anyway, the setup is correct. Let me...
One to go, next time by. Line up on the right side. Pit road is closed right now.
This stuff... Wait. No. This, yeah, okay. Is this even... Yeah, it is on the OBS, that's nice. Let me get some water. So I don't know what to expect from this race. People ahead seemingly have half a second on me. And then they're 4.3k I rating. What's that? What is Pit Redline? That sounds like something with Team Redline. Anyway. I saw quite many people with their alt accounts. And then I'm like, well, if you have top iRacing esports drivers with alt accounts with 7 to 8k I rating, then what can I do about it if I ever want to be like 8k, then I would need to kind of drive against them on their main accounts, right? Smurf livery forced, yeah, I would be happy with that. Anyway, here we go. That's the way that they take green flag here. Copy. Welcome to iRacing, guys.
Clear on the left.
Well, it's gonna be a bit of a more eventful or less eventful race from here? Damage. I mean, I will keep driving till the end because this is preparation for Saturday, right?
On the left.
We will have 12 hours of this on Saturday. And we will be who knows what split. Could be split 3, split 4. No idea. People will be crashing us everywhere, so... Not ideal about the I rating still. and not ideal about the content side of things. But I need to repair this and then see what happens. In the previous race there were like 10 DNF, so what can I say? And it's like experienced drivers around me, right? But they just crashed me out. I saw the guys behind me going wheel to wheel and diving into turn 1. I went quite around the outside, but nope. Well, let's see how much repair that is. Unlucky. The good thing is that in iRacing you can escape and check replay and then return back to the car, I think. Yeah, I mean, I knew exactly that this is gonna happen. I started in like P15 in the race some hours ago and it was super clean.
3, 2, 1. Right here.
3 minutes. Better than 12. So, if I understand correctly, I can go escape and then I can check the replay and then I can drive again. So I guess the usual in iRacing is that people accelerate straight out to the last corner. I didn't really expect that, but learned. And the way that collisions are in iRacing makes it even funnier. Which one is better? This one? No, that's not a good one. Blimp, no. Is there any good angle here? I mean, the black car kind of chopped across and the Mustang didn't react. Whatever. 1 minute and 40 to go. What's happening with the wheel here? Well, nice. Yeah. Time to think philosophically about all the warnings against driving daily races at Bathurst. But still, it's by far the best way to prepare for these races, especially when you don't know the sim. You just jump in and get stressed, get exposed to all the nervousness of actual official event. So I would assume that people behind me have longer repairs and minus 81 is better than minus 100. Why is it's pulling more and more to the right? Why is it like that? Someone explain me this force feedback. Anyway, Clutch in, first gear.
We're done. Get going.
Huh? Why didn't it go? Ah, it was doing the optional repairs and I kind of just accelerated out of it. Who would understand? And now I have the leaders behind me. Oh dear. Carol, I mean, I hope they never update anything so people just migrate to LMU, but that's something I shouldn't be saying on stream, but alternative is that they fix physics, fix tires, fix graphics, fix everything and make it actually a good sim. Like good sim with good physics, with approachable physics, with I don't know. Again, I apologize. I continuously promised I would not shit talk about iRacing, but genuinely try to enjoy it. But I cannot help when the game is consistently trying to kill my experience. Not saying about the incident in turn 1, but just overall. Anyway. No, it's fine, Carol. I mean, everybody has to fume out sometimes. I would be probably fuming less if I was concentrating now on getting a top 5 or whatever. But now I'm getting caught for 2 laps by a couple of alt accounts. Saturday is gonna be fun. And I've seen the forecast that it could rain at some point. I wish the front existed. My brain is continuously getting fried by how one has to brake in iRacing. With kind of the going on to brakes phase on the trace looking same as getting off brakes, like have to take so much time for the maximum load. think people ahead are already pitting or what, or were there more crashes? Salve Giacomo!
Just set your fastest lap of the session.
So let's see how many laps I can stay ahead of the leader. Not sure what he's doing, but I guess he's like high O2s or low 3s. Such a nice track though. It would be really good in LMU. I didn't quite like the Bathurst mod in RF2. And it was a bit weird to drive with those old GT3s which had a lot of slip. But in LMU it would feel just about perfect, I think. Why did I just gain 1/10 in first corner? I broke way too early. And that's wide. Blue flag, here we go. Hi William, no it's not top split, I think it's second split. Because, well, special event on Saturday and therefore huge amount of esportsmen doing these races. Actually, it's been very long time since I got sent to Split 2 in iracing. Usually like 4K I rating is enough, or even 3.5. Yeah, and my I rating is well, now it's gonna be a bit less, but I think it was 5,164 or something around that. Why is the car not liking that corner anymore? It was one of the easiest for me in the prior days. Not sure if iracing penalizes you if you get blue flag for too long. But it feels like if I was doing PBs every lap without messing up turn 2 and so on, I would be able to keep the gap. Well, he's flashing me, but what can I do? He's far behind. I guess I'll let him through after this corner or something. Oh. Yeah, that I never know. Is it a contact or net code? I've learned that most of these crashes around are just net code and they didn't actually happen. Which is really stupid. And again, yeah, out of that corner, every time there are sparks flying. 24 Peugeot, it's probably my favorite car if the BOP was favorable for LMH. It has horrendous acceleration, but drag is low, and it drives very pleasantly. Well, Herman, I guess all it would take would be one clever programmer with a lot of encryption knowledge to hack the LMU a little bit and then copy paste the Bathurst RFCMP and install. Would be beautiful. Ay, ay, ay. too hard on the brakes, I think. For the fun of it, I turned off ABS yesterday, tried to do a lap. The tires, the front tires, lock up with like 20% input. It's ridiculous. How quickly the lockup happens, it's really insane. In some corners, of course, like those downhill braking zones. Yeah, the new Peugeot, it's really pleasant to drive. Good on the brakes. Again, only real problem is when you drive out of hairpins and you have LMDH ahead of you. And LMDH just rockets off as a different class car. Was close to the wall. Yeah, why don't you turn? It's ironically, I guess it's because of ABS, and it's the same reason as in LMU. It's the same problem that they have both in iRacing and LMU. Just that in LMU you can feel absolutely every ABS activation. But here there is nothing. You just have to know at what point it starts ABSing. You cannot feel it, there is no FFB for that. Which is a shame. But it kind of hits up the tires in the same way here as in LMU. Did P1 actually crash or what? I can keep up with him, which is nice. Well, BMW, it's not just BMW for LMDH, I think other LMDHs have good or too good acceleration as well. I'm thinking of trying the Porsche LMDH for Imola for today. Long time no drive.
Got damage on the right side.
Damage on the right side. I guess that's still from the optional repairs that I skipped in the end. I have crashed more heavily into that wall on the exit of the last left before this downhill, and I got no damage from that, but yeah, not sure. lost my mirror. I don't have look left, look right mapped, so I will not know. What's that clouded smoke there? Actually, I'm in quite a nice battle for the podium now, right? I will have one lap more of fuel. And I'm in this very nice P2, if I can keep the gap to P3, well, to the effective, or to the actual P2 and P3, but shame I'm 2 laps down. Actually, probably I'm like, yeah, more than 1 lap longer on fuel. Not even sure what to do with fuel. So I lost 2 laps. If I do 14 plus 3, I probably I need to add for 3 laps. The race is 20 laps, and then the first stint is either 14 or 15. But I did a lap and then spent 3 minutes and a half in the pits.
New fast lap for you.
I really think this ABS and braking part of learning GT3s in iRacing is by far the most difficult. It's just so... I don't know. It's impossible, like, you don't get feedback, you can repeat it 1,000 times, but you don't know what exactly is going on, so you just need to look at data and it takes forever to fully dial in your feeling of to know when ABS kicks in and so on.
You have about 2 laps of fuel left. New fastest lap for you.
So 2 laps. What do I add? 12? Let's just add 15. In case there is 4 more laps. I will probably emerge out of the pits ahead of the leader. So then if I'm out of fuel, I can always just let him go and have the race 1 lap shorter.
You have about 1 lap of fuel left.
Cut in the pit entry, that's something that LMU still needs to implement.
Pit boxing.
Now we can cut quite many entries like at Le Mans
5,
without any
3,
consequence.
2, 1. Right here. Move it, move it.
Headlight flashing incoming. But I'm not gonna let him through if he's 7 tenths behind. Why is it overlapping with the trailing? Like the race lap overlay. Was it overlapping before? I don't think so. But these race lap overlay items just randomly drift across the screen sometimes, feels like. Anyway, the leader is closer than expected. So weird to see him even in the mirror bouncing off the walls and so on, but it's not really him bouncing, it's just the netcode.
Car on your left. Clear.
He is a bit damaged, right? His rear right. Was that a crash or netcode again? Well, the damage persists, right, on his rear left. So, in the past I saw rear wings flying and then reappearing on the car after the netcode realized that it wrongly calculated something. It's just super weird how this is all implemented. No, but he's heavily damaged for sure. He did 2.1 in quali, which is crazy esports pace. And now I'm able to stick with him, so... so I did overfuel by a lap. I'm actually... like, I was P30 after I got crashed out at the start. Now I'm P19, so yeah, 1/3 of the grid crashed or something. So it's only gonna be minus 35. If I don't bean it myself even harder. But he's crashing, right? I don't know. Super weird. It's the worst because I often suffer from that effect when if the car ahead goes a bit wide, I tend to kind of go slightly wide as well. So then if the car ahead goes into the wall, according to netcode, there is greater chance of me going into the wall. Anyway, let me celebrate the P2, even though it's 2 laps down and is therefore P19. That's...
Alright, there's the checkered flag.
okay. I didn't know where exactly is the line. But if I see the... I suppose that's it for me, right? If I was let through, like, I could be shown checkered flag before the last corner, but then the guy could let me through. And then would checkered flag disappear? I don't know. Anyway. Well, Lavanas, thank you. It's not where I thought I would finish, but still. I did gain 40 or more than 40 I rating in the previous race some hours ago, which I didn't stream. And now I lost minus 35-ish, so overall it's still a net gain. But maybe for one last time. Let's see how to see the race. Like, why is there not like a button? I can do it like, no, I cannot do it because then I cannot. Yeah, I don't know. How to go to a different driver there? I don't know. Maybe one more look at the rear chase. I just should have had better reactions. But then, like, what is this even? How? On both of them, like, he just went into the Mustang's way, and the Mustang just didn't have any reflex. He just went straight into him. And then the physics of the crash. Brilliant. Anyway, we quit. We check the result. Ja, sem probo entry klikant, ampak potem ne vem, kdo je kakšen, tako da kakorkoli že. We have a little bit of minus and a little bit of minus, but that's fine. Well, close this unfortunate program and open this differently unfortunate program. I'm registered already, so shouldn't be a problem. But I will quickly register for the intermediate race as well. Let me just quickly check. So this is starting now, but let me quickly go to daily intermediate. Ah, it's the other way around this week. Well, I guess we'll be doing Sebring then, because it was in previous weeks at 21:15 it was the WEC experience, but this week it's the other way around. Okay, well, I will quickly register for this then, and I'm thinking, yeah, shame there is no Acura here, but I'm gonna do the Corvette. Did they do Corvette last time here? I kind of forgot how these cars drive already. Anyway, I register for this and I go to LMGT3 fixed. And okay, well, join event. Well, that's taking long. Good evening, Fabio. Well, it was close. It was very close. Let me close this race lab. And I hope the tiny pedal is on. Wait, quali is 10 minutes. That's 6 laps, 6 times 4-ish. I'm gonna just take... actually, since we have that feature now, let me go to TC and just decrease it here. Pedal force down as well, ABS down as well. Alright. I have to update my tiny pedal and then do the tire compound mapping, so that I don't have to manually switch them every time. Fabio I had like in the middle, was it 6, 5? Don't even know what's the max on the BMW. 11 or 13? I think it's 13. I had low to medium. Yeah, Carol, I registered for the next Sebring. So like after this, I'm already registered because it's gonna be like straight into the server. So it could be too little time to actually register. And luckily we can register not just for the upcoming race, but also for the next one. So I just registered for Sebring. Seven wing on the Caddy. Yeah, it really felt... Wait, Caddy has less range, right? Does Caddy go to 9? You know the feeling when you turn and you have a tire under your car. You get that kind of resistance, rubbery resistance, that you just never feel in iRacing. In iRacing you turn and it just feels like there is nothing, or that... Yeah, I don't know, hard to explain, like a complete lack of feedback from where a tire should be. But here you like turn and you immediately feel it starting to interact with the ground. I hope iRacing soon implements the new tires, which they are hard working on, and that it gets, well, not significantly better feedback, but completely new, revolutionary force feedback. Hi Ben. Was it... did we touch in Bathurst? Hi Mario. Carol, I don't know, I don't have a problem, I did it last time. Like the championship race ended 15 past and I just escaped, went quickly into the other server which was already running. And I didn't have any problem. You were the Mercedes, right, Ben? Yeah, so I braked maybe slightly too early, but that was my second race ever. I did the first one 4 hours ago, I think, and I broke at what felt like conservative spot and I just went straight. Kind of made the corner, but went half car onto the grass and lost a position or two, so then I told myself there is a bit of gap behind, I'm just gonna go safely. It didn't end well. I'm looking at the brake trace and I see I'm doing the iRacing braking, and that's not great. That's hard to unlearn then, when you have it in muscle memory. I think many times I hope I don't get Daniel Ricciardo by trying to learn how to do iRacing. But really when, like, if you do this kind of... now it reset, but you still see the trace. Slowly increasing brake, that's the way to go in iRacing for whatever reason. But in real life and in all other normal sims, you have to smash the brake and then bleed off. Whatever. Yeah, Ben, I saw that the Mustang kind of just went straight into you, although, well, I guess you got scared by me, he got scared by you, but he just didn't react. Anyway, it is what it is. Probably I'm gonna get crashed off way more on Saturday for the whole 12 hours. I mean, myself and my 2 teammates, so just have to get ready to accept all the long hours of the required and optional repairs, but we'll do our best to stay out of all the mess. Anyway, Ben, thank you for the messages, and have a good evening if you're leaving. Alright, thank you. I have overfueled. I keep doing this mistake every time, in the sprint races or in qualifying sessions. Because it's all on virtual energy, and then I know that it's like 4%-ish per lap. And then I just calculated the fuel as it's 4 liters per lap, but the ratio is much lower. Anyway, I'm just gonna keep driving. What's the temps? Still a bit low. I did the slow press on the brake again, didn't I? Ay. Nick, I made a Discord, you won't believe it. I don't have a link yet. I have to set the... what's it called, like the not the chat, but like the topic where people land in and but I will post the link soon. I mean, it's gonna be under the next live stream, so... No! This wasn't a cut. Carol, it's... I mean, probably the real-life drivers are still confused as well. It's just the engineers and the race directors and stewards that are not confused. It kind of makes sense in hypercars, but then in GT3s it's a bit weird. Carol, actually last race of my previous stream, I did that as well by 0.01%. It's a big penalty. I need to gain 1.5 seconds though. Oof. On this fixed setup you have to take that curb, which you wouldn't be able to on optimized setup that is lower to the ground, I think. I mean, it is like a fuel bop, right? Instead of saying that you can only use 70 liters, they say you can use this much joules in the whole race, or in one stint. That's a bad delta. Probably shouldn't have taken the anti-cut. Too early on the brakes. Oh, the tires are getting hot actually. Probably should have gone to pits. Oh, at the track 54.7, that's very hot. That's a track limit. Let me then cool down the tires a bit, and I'll get one more attempt anyway. Hello Marvin. Yeah, I mean, I guess the virtual energy thing is in the end quite clever. Like they tried to make some system to BOP both hybrid and non-hybrids. And I mean, in the end, you can tell somebody that you can use that many liters in a stint, the other one that many, but in the end they want to just make cars more efficient. So they said you can use this much energy wherever it comes from. Well, in the GT3s it just comes from the combustion, right? So But yeah, the virtual energy is just it's not real, or like it's a metaphysical object, or however to put that into words. My tires are not the happiest anymore. Kind of in the middle of nowhere anyway. Would need to gain 3/10 to gain a position. Now these temperatures, I suppose 2 shorter runs are the way to go. It is an improvement though, so at least something. Okay, P5. Guess I can make something with P5. But Leiden is really fast. Okay then, 45-minute race. And it should be... I'm just gonna trust that the fuel ratio is correct. That 71 is enough. It will be a little bit fuel limited if my calc is correct. Should be 25 laps. So will require just a little bit of lifting. That Italian shouting on the background noise. It's funny, like it's the same background noise for Imola and Monza, and then sometimes you have like multiple speakers and they are not synchronized, so you have that Italian shouting every 3 seconds from different speakers around the track. So basically that's the ratio, because that much fuel can give you around the same energy, or like you can get in the time that you burn this many joules, you burn this many liters. Like how to put it better? Well, let's say 71 liters let you... I don't know what the units are real. Yeah, without energy this could go to, yeah, to 120, but oh dear, how to even explain that? Where is my feedback? Okay. If it was iracing, it would be going like... Ooh. Yeah, like 100%... I don't know, my brain is a bit broken. Cannot think of an easy explanation. Let's say 100% virtual energy is basically limiting you to like 24 or 25 laps. And coincidentally you need like 71 liters for that distance. I think that's the easiest way to put it. And then you can carry 80 liters, but you will just have to carry extra weight because before you burn those 80 liters, you will run out of the virtual energy, which is like amount of energy that you can actually, by the rules, burn in a stint. Maybe that helps a little bit. It's gonna be spicy turn 1. Oh, we slowed down so much. I see. I'm not carrying enough speed through Lesmos. So this is LMGT3 Fixed Championship, round 3. What's the point? We are just losing time to the people ahead. It was a bit of a late dive from him. I would let him through if he was closer. Anyway, as long as Leiden is behind Barclay, it's gonna be a big battle. It's a fuel saving race anyway, so... Ay, ay, ay. Still having that panic attack on the ABS. Instead of lifting, I just go deeper into it. Luckily no contact. So, Jankesh, you noticed it. Basically, I got told that, well, I have 90 or 100 FPS. I have to stream Bathurst 12 hours. And at the same time, perform. And if I want more FPS, I need lower bitrate. So I lowered the bitrate. But it's just temporary because I will have a PC upgrade coming. I will finally have the AMD stuff. Let me cut. I need the dough. So I will be able to go back to 1440p and still have the FPS soon. TM. We are not saving enough, I think. Well, last lap was enough, but it's less than 4% per lap of energy now. Uh-oh. Is this the DDoS again? There were DDoS attacks. Have to stop cutting. I think yesterday there were 2 DDoS attacks on the server center which is used by LMU. That's orange cut. Where is pace? I need more pace. Beautiful, Jonathan. Yeah, mine will be soon as well. Just no idea when to assemble the components, because there is just so much racing. Bathurst 12 hours on Saturday, and then that Longford R Factor 2 event with the historic community on Sunday. And then it's, I think, LMU, probably new update week. And then we have a Virtual Endurance Championship, and there is just not enough time to fix it, but we'll have to do it. Yeah, the frame rate is kind of alright here in these conditions. By alright, I mean 120, which is still less than what it should be under G-Sync. Carol, if you mean me, a 3080 RTX. Why am I cutting so much? Tiny pedal not working, uh-oh. I mean, you have to make a game on borderless or windowed, if you have not checked that. Otherwise it should work, right? And that plugin, yeah. Yeah, I was thinking a lot of having a streaming PC, but it just adds extra layer of complication somehow. Like Michi had that dual PC setup for years, and he got fed up. And then he had audio sync issues, and I don't know. He didn't seem overly enthusiastic about it. Good to be back in tow. Is the McLaren a bit of pace around here? Is it worth to buy RF2 now? It's a tricky question. It's not really being actively supported because the whole Studio 397 team is spending all their time on LMU. So I think it depends on what you want, right? RF2 is still kind of, how to say, it's moddable, right? You have many mods and you have many leagues still running on there. Online system is kind of working, but there is not many people on it, I think. But, well, one thing is certain, that the physics, the tire physics of LMU has massively improved the experience. Even though RF2 feels good, it's usually way too rear slip angle biased. We are losing so much time to the top 3. I think Kieran ahead is over-saving a bit. Or maybe the McLaren is just very slow around Monza. He surely doesn't seem to have any hope of the podium, so I would prefer to work with him, but how? And just like that, 2 seconds are gone. Well, potentially if we both had like 2 or 3 extra tenths of pace, I would just stay behind and we would work together. Hi Kyle, and yeah, for sure you need league racing in RF2. There is probably not, well, league racing or just like some personal project if you want to kind of develop a car. You have the great physics tools, you can calculate your own tires. Leiden was 2 seconds quicker previous lap. We had the battle previous lap, right? Where did they cut? But for sure, the ABS management is super important here, especially in these high temps. If you go deep into ABS, into every braking zone, the tires will overheat. It's gonna micro lock up all the time. And the tires will go out of the window. So it's a good combination to learn how to operate the brakes. Hi Tsari. Caro, although LMU AI is really good. And coming from RF2 to LMU, I think quite a lot of extra code has been done to improve AI experience. Especially in the way that it handles traffic and overtakes. So I still think LMU is probably by far the best scene when it comes to AI. Well, we need R factor 3 with all the new stuff that LMU provides, but to be open so we can mod it or copy paste RF2 content. Well, we will never be able to copy paste. What's that about now? He wants to let me through? No? What? Or he hit a cut? Through a scurry? I don't quite get what Kieran is doing here. But we lost 10 seconds almost. Excuse me. Yeah, probably LMU is done in such a way that it will never be able to have mods because of the legal reasons. There are surely some contracts with like ACO, the organizer of well, World Endurance Championship. So there is only a limited option of what content can be in there. Best series for RF2? Well, I have a certain views around Porsche Cup car. We had to heavily e-sport it for Sim Formula Europe 1 year ago. And it... I don't know. The GT3s feel like what the Porsche Cup should feel, and the Porsche Cup car feels like... I don't know. 90% of the rotation has to come from the rear, and if you even think of using the fronts, you're already understeering. I think BTCC content is really good. I mean, Porsche Cup, it's fun to drive, for sure. And to be honest, most of stuff, when you try to start e-sporting it and finding optimized setups, it easily gets broken. But yeah, BTCC is fine, it's just that I absolutely hate front-wheel driven cars. Although there is the BMW, which is rear-wheel drive, and I love it, it handles brilliantly. I really enjoyed some races with it. As I keep cutting. Honestly, I think the best RF2 experience is still stuff like Formula Sim Racing, or like most realistic, even though the hybrid isn't there. Or well, there is hybrid, but not properly like in LMU. But those cars like the Caterham and the Mini, they're quite brilliant. And all the historic content from ISI from over 10 years ago, it still feels great. Where is Kieran going? And it looks like we're catching P3 now. But there are quite many cars in RF2 on the new tire model. Well, it's not new anymore after LMU got its updates. But I think all my favorite RF2 cars come from ISI. Like the Formula 1 from 60s and the 70s F1 cars. And stuff like well, it's not Shelby Cobra, it's called Houston. Or is it actually called... It's called AC Cobra, yeah. And then the Houston cars, which is kind of the Lola prototypes from the 60s or 70s. They are pretty brilliant. Well, you'll be able to watch me drive the F1 cars around Longford, which is a brilliant old track, on Sunday, if I survive the Bathurst. I cannot understand this chicane. Yeah, Kyle, like the really it felt great, those like Formula Renault 3.5, best open wheeler ever in sim racing. And they even tried to destroy that by introducing some weird tire that made it roll over at Sebring turn 2. And then I think they realized that they have a terrible tire and then they just reverted it. Slowly gaining time to P3, but do I have enough time? 12 laps to go. No, yeah, 11 laps to go actually. So I do need like 4 tenths per lap. Yeah, RF2 physics is not better than LMU. You get more force feedback because you can drift the car more in some occasions, like you actually have more grip, so then the wheel feels more positive. But it's just like we are doing that virtual endurance championship with the McLaren, and it's just a flying carpet. The rear is slipping around so much, or has to be, like in hairpins. You cannot really load the front much, the rotation is mostly from the rear. The GT cars, the GT3s feel like what touring cars should feel like. Well, when the new tire model in RF2 came, it felt like a massive improvement over the old one, but every time I drive LMU, it's so much more solid. There might be a bit of lack of front response in LMU, especially on the fixed setups, which are kind of safer or more understeery. And it still might be a bit slippery on the rear, or like you can abuse a bit of rear slip angle. But it's so much better than what RF2 used to be when it comes to GT3s. What are the leaders doing? Losing quite a bit of time. Maybe battling heavily. Nice Yankesh. Yeah, I was struggling with G-Sync. In the past week I tried to make G-Sync work with Tiny Paddle. And it was not like that before, but now I can run G-Sync with Tiny Paddle overlay in both RF2 and LMU, but in RF2 I have to have it on window. No, in RF2 it's borderless, and in LMU I must have it on windowed. If it's on borderless in LMU, it will not work. But it did work before, like a month ago it worked in LMU on borderless, but now it's only on windowed. I don't know. It works, that's the most important. Well, Jankash, did you put it in the correct folder? I think the folders are named slightly differently. Or maybe you have to turn it on in the menu in LMU. Because you can, in the main menu in the settings, you can enable and disable separate plugins. What is that about? I mean, hope he doesn't defend. What, will he lift? Well, he's surely having some fun. Got me very scared. Ankesh, you know what's worse? Having iRacing installed and not being able to use it because it keeps saying that easy anti-cheat is not installed. It's kind of a program that has to run for iRacing to let you load a circuit. And I had it installed. And if I tried to manually install it, it said that it's already installed. But I could not load any server because it was not installed. I couldn't drive iRacing despite having to practice for Bathurst for like 2 days. iRacing support couldn't help me. In the end I did some magic clicks and upon like third reinstall and manually deleting some random files which shouldn't really have any effect. Like some shortcuts or like whatever. It suddenly started to work again. It was very easy anti-cheat, right? In the end I sent them the message, like we exchanged like 10 emails with iRacing tech support. They did give me a detailed uninstall, reinstall list that didn't really work, but it was still in the end helpful. And then in the end I said that was quite something, and then even in RF2 that I had to reinstall many times for different bugs, it was never as difficult as in iRacing. I was very proud of that email. I mean, they professionally responded, of course, but it's just so incredible because in iRacing I just get bug after bug and it stutters, it freezes, it does random stuff that I never have problems with it with LMU, but everyone else almost keeps having stutters in LMU and problems and crashes with LMU, but iRacing is supposedly stable for them. I don't know. Inexplicable. Purple S3, nice. Ay 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 ay. Luckily he left the gap opened. Am I using some smoothing? So in game I have 0 smoothing, and I still have to make that FFB video which I promised half a year ago. I don't really like the smoothing, I don't think it's really needed. There are some curbs which rattle the whole, well, the whole apartment or whole block down. So on SimuCube I do use that peaking and notch filter sometimes. Simonian is tight on the cuts, it looks like he had to lift a lot. Well, I guess Battle for the Podium is on. You would report that pit accident. Well, there was no incident, so I've seen worse in the past. So yeah, like in SimuCube I use that peaking and notch filter, and that can help with, or that does help with some aggressive curbs. I will make a video, but maybe more in March than in February. But yeah, my Discord is on. For the next stream, the link to the Discord will be in the description, and then I can more easily respond to some of the questions. Where is Barclay finding his space now? At the start it felt like Leiden has massive pace advantage. Well, he had it in quali, but now the gap is increasing a lot. Gotta make sure I have enough virtual energy before I start attacking. Should be 4 more laps. And I have, yeah, just about enough. Just a little bit too much understeer for my liking. Although, well, front left is above 100 Celsius, so it's quite overheated. bit unexpected, but gonna take it. I kind of expected to get illegal overtake when I jumped over that anti-cut. But must have been just about within the white lines. Hello Jan. Yeah, I kind of expected him, like that was his weakest corner for quite some laps, I think. I did kind of expect him that there is a good chance he's gonna go wide a bit, but not that wide. Well, onto the podium. But we are so far away from the top two. I'm gonna blame iracing. It destroyed my left foot. Oh yeah, I'm looking forward. Yeah, the BMW feels really good actually. Just need to nail the entry and not overload the front left, and then it grips beautifully. Fastest lap of the race, I think. We'll see later actually, probably it's not the fastest lap of the race, but the FL was probably done in the first laps. But for me the car keeps getting quicker and quicker. Yeah, I mean, the BMW is funny, it's the only front engine of the current cars, and it does feel that the rear is lighter than in the other cars. But at the same time, it can kick out a little bit, but it's just like nicely controllable. And you can really play with it. It really feels like the car is kind of pinned onto the ground by the front, and then the rear can kick out quite a bit, but because it's so stable on the front, the rear is easily manageable as well. And then like with the McLaren it's very different. Feels like front is very, very weak. Let's not run out of virtual energy here, but I think we are safe. 0.5, 0.4, 0.3, 0.2, 0.15 over the line. Alright, well, not a win, but it's a podium. And I even have 7 more minutes before the next race starts. I tried to flick the rear around, but ABS prevented me. Let me quickly watch the start. Because it does feel like I kind of messed it up. It was a good start. I always brake a bit too early here, but I'm just scared I'm gonna ram the people ahead. And then I kind of let the brake go a bit. Did a cheeky dive into the apex. It was kind of spot on. But yeah, I think here we have that McLaren versus BMW BOP feature. BMW doesn't really have that much traction, and McLaren just pulls like crazy initially. So Kieran had the better go, and then I was too far for a move. But at this point, like, we just kind of stopped. Felt like I had to go more on the brake, and even got tapped from behind. So in hindsight, maybe I should just have dived and hope for the best. Yeah, and then my pace said nope. Was this the move? I think so. This was very precise. Or actually, no. Actually, that would have been illegal overtake if we were just slightly side by side, but because we are not, I'm able to get away without even a cut warning or like a calculation, but with a lot better exit, so... Anyway, let me jump into the other one. Probably I have lost a bit. Did I lose a bit of DR? Maybe not, because I have lost it already in the previous weeks, so that's quite a good gain here. And Leiden is DR2, so... When did Barclay lose his gold rating? Anyway, we go back. Yeah, well, my rear is still not outside. I guess the rule could be 3 wheels. No, wait, it was... chicanes are always a difficult one, because if the rule is 2 wheels on the ground, and then, or like on the racing surface, on the asphalt within the white lines, but the chicane is quite like pointy, then actually just the front 2 wheels could be off track and both rear could still be on track. I don't know. But either way, I'm just gonna quickly check, because we have LMGT3 fixed starting as well, so if there is bad signups here, I could just quickly swap. I don't know. What if I just quickly swap for LMP2? Because I see a couple of guys that I would like to race against. I just always default to registering with the GTE because then there is always this funny start when LMP2s just don't get the power down and they have a very messy sector 1 and then you just have pure madness. Let's go, James. And in fact, let me do what I normally do with LMP2. Wait. Why was it on 380? I think it's 330 by default, but I normally use 380. So if I keep this on, it's gonna go to 330, but therefore I tick it off to actually get slightly bigger ratio and slower steering. DDoS attack sponsored by iracing. I mean, if you had the... Why? This is only 30 minutes. But it's fuel times 2. Okay, copy. If you had the money and the resources, like, would you not do these undercover DDoS attacks to your main opponents? Like, thinking of Studio 397, they would never do something like that to any other sim, even if they were successful, because they are all, or mostly, they are just sim racers and they just want a good sim. But I don't know, I have no idea about iRacing employees, so the last thing I want to do here is to blame anybody in iRacing side. Would be quite an accusation, right? But I mean, I'm happy to listen to all kinds of speculations in my chat, and I'm able to keep all kinds of speculations in my head. This is open setup. Do I have some setups here? Oh, I have a setup, wow. What do we have here? I hope it's drivable. Should be fine. Am I going right way? I'm not going right way. Yeah. So easy to do here at Sebring. Oh, this track is perfect for LMP2. It's always such a nice experience. I think I said last time after driving the Alpine at Kota, like if you want to experience being connected to the road and having the car move underneath you, just take the Alpine, throw it around some bumpier tracks, or take the LMP2 here and drive it around Sebring. It's always such a physical and crazy experience. And the brakes are cold. And I must not forget that it's a fuel-saving race. Yeah, that's bumpy. But that's downforce, so good to feel big downforce on the front. See you later, maybe? Ah, okay. Thought for a moment that he's gonna spin into me. Yeah, you really need that horizon locking in VR. Like for Sebring in RF2, I always put lock horizon to low, but at some point they totally changed the way that it's programmed, and then after that I was completely unable to use it even on low. It felt way overpowered, and it's still in LMU the same. Just cannot use the lock horizon. Fuel. Anyway. wins, I will do my best. Well, James is not slow, right? And if he practiced for this, then I could be in trouble. It's gonna be 2 stints actually. This pit limiter, it's not automatic in iRacing, it's not automatic in RF2. Maybe it can be automatic in iRacing, I'm not sure. If server allows, maybe. I think it is, yeah, if server allows, you have automatic pit limiter in iRacing. But in LMU you can switch it on and off. And about stints, I think, so because it's fuel times 2, it will be probably like half a stint refuel. 30-minute race. And these cars can normally do like 35 minutes. So it's gonna be impossible to stretch it, because it's gonna be like 17-18 minutes per stint. Is the engine a bit silent? Well, there are 2 reasons I showed that setup. First is that I was genuinely extremely surprised that I have actually a Sebring LMP2 setup, so I just loaded it and looked at it. And the other reason is that I mean, I didn't really spend much time on the setup, and I'm not really ever gonna need the car for any esports events that could be coming, because if stuff like Le Mans Virtual Series happens, it will be, well, modern WEC classes, right? So hypercars and LMGT3s without LMP2s. So I'm not worried. Oh, there is so much rotation, I have to start trusting the car a bit more. That was the wrong brake marker. So many reflections that I don't see the white lines on the ground well enough. Carlos, you mean F1 esports? Or what do they call it nowadays? F1 sim racing? And it's not sim and it's barely racing. I mean, the skills are still very similar to what we need here in proper sims. And people like Rasmussen and Opmer can jump straight into a proper sim and be fast, so but just the idea of having zero dirty air and just big trains for the whole race is just horrendous to me. So much rotation. This setup is more rotated than what I remember it. Well, Carl, they can make it random. But I think for the beginner races they just want to keep it stable and safe. 1 second to gain, oof. I cannot handle that rear. So stiff, but at the same time so forgiving. Maybe I should have taken the default setup or something. This is not looking good. Snaps so easily. I will have a quick look into Motec. So fuel was 5.9-ish. What do we have here? That setup is a bit... physics got a bit changed at some point, right? The rear is quite a lot on the Packers. That turn one moment is because of that. A bit less of this. IRB was kind of nice. How much time I have? It's still quali. I'm thinking a bit more. Yeah, I need some proper magic clicks. The rear is hitting the Packers for sure. But what do you do here? Yeah, I wouldn't like to reduce the rear Packers. Actually, now that I would need more rear spring rate. Because if I increase the rear ride height, then I will need more Packer as well, because it kind of moves together. 1 minute to go. No virtual energy here. Not sure what to do with radiators. If I do this, it's gonna be I don't know. Let's say 4 clicks on the rear right height, 1 click on the ARB, 2 on the front right height. Any better ideas? Actually, the fast damping could be good. I don't know. Just drive and survive. And for the pit stop, do you have time to calculate? I will trust the. Wait, I have hidden the tiny pedal. Wait. Preset GT. Okay. That has a bit of fuel. Maybe it's a bit hidden from OBS, but alright. Warming up the brakes. Somebody's going off track, maybe? Actually not, wow. I didn't want to... Ow, sorry. Didn't want to lift that hard, but... underestimated the distance. It's times 2 fuel, so it's important to fuel safe. You don't need iracing to spin out. It's been a long day. Well, oops. Sorry Vince, I will not beat James today, most likely. What can I blame? I can blame the setup. I just did the clicks and hope for the best. I think I just messed my braking marker because I've not done a lap behind the car yet. But the clicks feel good, I think. Has a bit more ground clearance. No, I don't think it was clutch. I just pressed the brake too much and lost it on the brake because I got scared by... I got scared that I would crash into Belhassan ahead. Yeah, with best intentions I went clutch and coasting to really save fuel, but would be better if I didn't. About reshade, I'm not using reshade. And Remy is a good fast guy for sure. That's not iRacing. In iRacing that would be legal. In LMU it's not. .5 of James. Let's see if I keep I can keep the pace. I don't know, like very late into the corner the rear snapped. I don't think it's because throttle or TC. There is something on suspension. And I did lose my rear into that corner in quali almost every lap as well, so it was just about to happen. Or it would have happened sooner or later, I suppose. Oh. Nature of the corner? Probably. I don't know. I don't think I went straight too much. Probably he thinks he left plenty of space on the inside, but I mean, one lesson is that you shouldn't lift and coast while you're battling, and I kind of lift and coasted quite heavily while I anticipated him to kind of accept that he doesn't have the position anymore. Well, yeah, we're all trying to survive here, I suppose. I guess that's how the guy in iRacing felt like before turn 1. Scared of early braking from me. Is that a brake bias problem? I mean, it's good that all the incidents happen in the same stream, so Bathurst was terrible. Okay, BMW at Monza was fine, but this is terrible again. Well, back into top 10. So preferably all the bad stuff happens on the same day. Yeah, very late into the corner, the rear suddenly decides to stop gripping, which is very reminiscent of iRacing, but in iRacing that happens because the ABS is slowly but surely hitting up the brakes, the tires, until the rear says not anymore. But here there is something else happening. I mean, I don't. I know that the LMP2 itself is quite a weird car. And I believe there should be some fixes coming at some point. But it's not really a car that Studio 397 focuses on. Because the GT3s and hypercars are obviously more important. Yeah, like this, I turn in and... what could that be? If it was anti-roll bar, the snap would happen earlier. And the thermal model is not that aggressive, so I cannot say that the tire overheats. It's in the middle of the optimal window as well. Yeah, the schedule that I always take is to go for the WEC experience, because it's fixed setup and I don't have to worry about these struggles. But Andy and Dan have switched it around for this week. Could be anti-roll bar being too high. In combination with coast being too opened. Finally a clean lap, but the clean lap is still, well, half a second of pace. So should be 5 laps to refuel, I think. Funny how sometimes the car spins to the inside. Spinning to the inside, well, that doesn't happen in iracing, because if you spin you lose all the grip and you go straight. But maybe still too much grip remains here when you are doing 360. Oh, purple S2. So there is some pace. Unfortunately, I'm 20 seconds of the lead. crazy. No cut? Nice. That's a bug. I think I gained... No, I didn't gain. I lost... What, 3/10? Still it was a huge cut. Keeps happening. The guy 10 laps ago would have left 10% of this space. It would have been a good battle instead of the crash. So I do have another lap of fuel. And the tire is gone. Is the engine alive? Nope. My dear chat, dear friends, it's not been my day indeed. Yeah, I hoped I could do the VEC experience rather than this, because I really didn't, especially for Sebring, if you have open setup, you can have all sorts of problems if you have a setup from half a year ago, after which several updates happen. There is no other way to do it but to retire. Christian, it's not fixed setup. It's open setup. I thought we were gonna do the other intermediate race. So I just loaded something that I found in the setup folder, and it was not good in quali. Slightly fixed it for race. But I think it was just hitting the packers way too hard. I mean, this is a normal move into turn 1. But yeah, over that bump, it just completely snapped. I wasn't that crazy on inputs. Just like half brake, barely any throttle. Bonk. Was it downshift? I don't think it was downshift. It was slightly after downshift. I mean, we can check Motec. And we can look at inputs. So where is my slip angle? This is kind of alright as well. So brake position and then gear down to 5th. Yeah, the front kind of, I mean, both front and rear kind of locked up over the bump. First the front locks over the bump, then the rear locks over the bump. This is the wheel speed. So front left and rear right, and actually both rear kind of locked a little bit. And then it just went out of control, but looks like the shift was done. I can just quickly add slip angle rear right, let's say. I don't need 50 degrees, but maybe 15 is good enough. Here it kind of disappears from the graph, maybe because of the bump. And at the same time we have the suspension having a huge moment. In the scatter plot, this is interesting. James says to spectate. I will spectate. Just I will quickly just analyze this. So this is the bump. So you see these dots here. This is when. So this is rear third position versus fourth. So when it goes non-linear like this, it means that it's hitting the very stiff packer. So when I was going, it's of course on the packer on the straight, but then I brake, it goes off the packer a bit, but then it hits it again quite heavily on the bump. It's squashed, it's still squashed heavily onto the packer when I brake. The setup doesn't work. Setup does not work. So where do we have a battle? We don't even have a battle. James is too fast for a battle. But let's just quickly analyze the car balance of James. He like turns in quite a lot. I cannot move the seat. I can move field of view maybe a little bit. Although that's not gonna help with the steering. Would need to actually... What about... This is kind of alright. Can I do that with this camera? Oh. Low. But it's moving, like I press the U button, which is like toggle free view, but then it does this. So that's... I don't know what exactly this does, but let's just go to here. Or maybe just... Nah. I want to see the steering wheel. Yeah, that car is handling the curbs so much better. Nice lockup. Thing with LMP2 is that in RF2 you had to run quite stiff rear spring rate, but then when it was ported to LMU it became very different. So we could suddenly use a lot softer spring rate, but it looks like for Sebring, nice understeer here. For Sebring you really need the clearance. You need a soft suspension but a lot of ground clearance. But again, there were so many updates even on LMP2. But no drama at all. Just kind of slightly understeer balance, but still good rotation. He leans quite a lot on the steering wheel. Quite too much, I think. But at least it's stable and it still rotates. And obviously the pace is good, so... Nice balance. I have mapped this, so you toggle free view, right? And then you have camera front, back, left, right, and up, down. But up, down works as expected. Well, that's nauseating a little bit. Yoo! But that's quite nice, right? Over the bridge. Probably it kind of looks like at the center of the car and tries to keep a relative distance to that. I don't know. Would be nice if it actually stayed in the same position relative to the steering wheel or something. Actually, I struggle a lot in RF2 with this camera free movement because it's extremely slow in RF2. In LMU it's a lot faster, like you go up so quickly to make screenshots from far, it's much easier. In RF2 you just have to hold the button like... Where is the car? Is this the car? Anyway, how many laps to go at all? So this is penultimate lap. Yeah, I will... Wait. I will analyze the crash. That's... the many crashes, right? Start was so nice. I mean, I got quite far ahead, but nothing illegal. That was kind of close to a bit of a moment. That was a stupid lift and coast. No, I just got scared to get too close to Hamza. Or I misjudged the braking performance as well. And then this. Yeah, I don't know why I lift and coasted here, but also I don't know what... I mean, okay, the apex is there, but this is not... I mean, this is not really apex. Like, you normally go quite wide around. Nah, that's just... incident waiting to happen, right? Here you kind of have to look relative to this yellow line here, I think. Like you cannot take the wall as the reference, you take the yellow line as the reference. So if you're cutting across, then there is a great chance of incident. At least the runoff is nice, so... Still ended up without rear left tire. So where is our dear colleague about to cross the line? Well, GG James. Wanted to make a better competition for you, James, but I was... it was not my day. No, I drove like shit and the setup was shit and it wasn't great. Anyway, till next time, let's just see how... if I'm already down to silver 3, but this could be... I mean, it's intermediate, it's not times 3, right? I think it's times 1 or times 2, the multiplayer. Could be like minus 25. But the race is still going, so just gonna quickly wait for that. Yeah, you're welcome, James. It's 2x. 25, 30. I'm gonna say minus 31.3 when it eventually generates it. Now today was, well, I guess it's content, right? I hoped I could get like my maybe plus 50, plus 60 I rating, and then maybe back to gold 2. Those were my secret hopes. But I got minus 35 I rating, and I'm going quite far down. Plus 0.2. Yeah, well, you'll get what will you get now? Will you get plus 6 maybe? Plus 5? Not much sign-ups for this. Only one split. Where results? Hey, the GTEs still have to drive the whole lap around, right? When I'm still here, I can just quickly put this back to wheel range from vehicle, and I can go to event history and double check the Monza one. Although I have looked at this already, right? Yeah, there was still quite some time. There we go. Well, this is not the results. This is the results. 20th. Only plus 2.5. Oof. Okay. Well, I said it's gonna be minus 31, but the estimation is roughly correct. Minus 0.4. Probably because of the DNF, right? Although, well, quite many contacts as well. Well, guys, I'm gonna go back to iracing grind, and I'll be live from Bathurst on probably rainy night at noon on Saturday. If you want to see some mayhem, you'll be able to see it. Well, probably on hundreds of streams from iRacing anyway, but anyway, I'm off. Thank you for the chat and for the likes. See you next time. Bye bye.